Okay, we're back at the whiteboard, and this time we're back at TikTok shops. It's very hard to not want to talk about TikTok shops right now because it's all the rage and there's so much changing with how they are approaching this and the news coming out from TikTok from what we can understand. A couple of weeks ago, TechCrunch wrote an article where they said that it looks like usage growth is slowing down at TikTok. And then, of course, there was the layoff that happened. And so there's a lot of chatter about what's going on at TikTok shops. So I'm going to start by sharing what Instagram already learned a year ago. And then the question is that same lesson going to be learned with TikTok? And how durable actually is the shop strategy the way they're implementing it today? So roughly a year ago, if you guys remember, Instagram actually used to have a shops tab. There was that little icon at the bottom center of the app, and they axed it. And then they axed their entire shops team and reorganized, well, not exactly, but they reorganized the team to report into the ads team, and they refocused on driving user engagement, right? So the number one metric was user engagement. And it turns out that user engagement is actually at odds with shopping. So the simplest way, the most naive way to think about this, and of course, people are going to argue that this is not exactly correct, is let's just say the total time spent on platform is uniform. The amount of ads that you can serve within your standard feed starts to compete with the amount of time people spend shopping, especially if there is a separate shopping tab, which on TikTok today, there is actually a shop tab right next to the For You page. So we'll go into that in a second. But time spent on app or on platform, these two things will start to compete with each other. Now, the even bigger issue on top of that is whether or not this is actually engaging. So like, is the shopping experience sufficiently engaging such that time spent on platform stays at least constant, if not grows, because you have this new opportunity to shop? And so this trade-off between how much time you spend on shops versus how much time you can drive relevant ads to the consumer is the fundamental question that these apps all have to battle with. Instagram, of course, we know, decided to go in the direction of focusing on what is the content that people want to see, whether that content is organic or ads. And TikTok Shop, the question is still unknown, right? And I'm very curious to see how this strategy ends up playing out. It's pretty unclear to me right now how they quote unquote spend through this, but we'll see. I hope that there's actually a way to drive social shopping experiences. All right, I'll see you in the next one.